So to continue the process of setting up this board, tail pad is on, wax is on. Now we're going to do the leg rope, and I'll show you the correct way to install a leg rope so that you do not ruin the tail of your board. Okay, so first things first, you need a leggy string. Okay, when you tie the knot in the leggy string, I always recommend that you have some tag ends out the other side. Okay, some people really like to tie them so that the tag ends are like tucked inside. But I have had occasions where after a few pulls on it, like really heavy pulls in big heavy surf, it actually pulls loose, and all it needs to do is pull loose of one of them, and then eventually it's going to pull loose of the other, and it's going to come undone, and you're going to lose your board at a critical moment. So in the interest of creating a margin of safety, just tie your leggy string with some tag ends to prevent any drama. Okay, now we take the bent end, because the knot is too large to fit through. You take the bend in it and you slide it through, and essentially you just feed it through one small piece at a time, and that's how we want it. Now, what you do not want is to feed it through and pull it tight. The length of this leggy string is going to create an issue eventually. With it rubbing on the tail of your board, you are going to do damage to the tail edge of your board. And in really extreme cases, it can just bust a ding straight through the rail of the tail. So this is the worst idea. You want to have your leggy doubled up. Your leggy string rather, doubled up like that, okay? Because that cannot reach all the way. Now, if you have issues feeding this through, like your plug is just too tight, what you can do is undo the string and feed it through with just one. Do not then tie it, because you're going to create the same issue of your leggy string causing damage to the tail of your board. So if you do use this method, you then have to feed the second one through. And then tie your knot off at the end again. That's how we want it, right there. Now, when we install the leg rope onto the string, you take the loop, the double loop, feed the end through. I like to move the knot to the outside rather than having it sit on the inside. Lay it down, double it up, triple it up, done. Now what you'll notice here is that that string cannot touch the tail rail of the board, and the surface area of this is such that that's not going to damage the tail of your board, and it's definitely not going to create a ding or a tear in the rail. So this is the safest way to install your leg rope. Please don't do it the other way. When it comes to sizing, this board is 6'5", okay? This leg rope is 6'0", right? Now I use a 6'0" leggy on a 6'5" board because, as you'll see, I can get the cuff to clear the nose of the board, and that's the ideal standard. So usually anything up to about a 6'7", 6'8" board is usually okay with a 6'0" leggy. My Love machine here is 6'9", and it goes fine with a 6-foot leggy. It also goes fine with a 7-foot leggy. So usually you want to match the size of the leggy as closely as you can to the size of the board. And it's just personal preference whether, if it's a line ball, whether you go up a size or down a size. It doesn't really matter. Just as long as you're able to clear the nose of your board with it, it should be enough.